you, Madam Chair, and thank you all for being here today, this very important hearing. So as I sit here and listen to this, and I voted for the bill when it came through committee last year, I believe, a couple things come to mind. So this is what would have been really helpful, I think, for everybody to bring: a flow chart that starts from the research of the drug to the person who actually gets it and what they pay for. So I made a little list myself. You've got the research, the manufacturing, the distributor, the PBM, the insurer, the doctor or hospital, the pharmacy, and then it gets to the patient. And I guarantee you, looking at a flow chart, if we actually had that in front of us, it would be more difficult to read than a flow chart from the Corps of Engineers. Because it would be if this, that, and before you know it, total confusion, which is what I think we have in terms of the lack of transparency with PBMs. You know, the old saying, I can't remember what the movie was, and Senator Cruz will know because I think he's a movie aficionado, follow the money. This is what the flow chart would also show us, follow the money. What movie is that?
That'd be All the President's Men.
I thought it was the one with Tom Cruise. Anyway, so much for that. So my question is to Dr. Oftbro, and you've answered several of the questions that I already have. I know that, have you ever had success in amending or negotiating a contract to alleviate some of these issues? I think you answered that, but if you could repeat your answer there, please.
We've made multiple attempts to try and negotiate better terms on contracts, and we have yet to be successful.
Did I accurately portray in your mind what a flow chart might look like? How would you respond to that if you had to bring a flow chart here?
No, I think what you described was not complicated enough.
Okay. I know a few states, my state of West Virginia being one, you mentioned in your hearing I hope I say this right, rosuvastatin, and that you had talked about the impacts of that and PBMs on that. Is this something that's unique to you, or is this occurring all across the country?
Well, this was a large national Medicare Part D plan. Mm-hmm. It's happening in every pharmacy in the country. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't just this one drug. It happens with many, many drugs every day for all kinds of plans. Okay. Also, I note that West Virginia has passed a number of bills trying to get at some of these issues. I mean, the last thing is probably a patchwork issue that we need because of a lot of complications with mail order and other things. Has Washington State attempted to pass similar laws to help you out here? We have passed some legislation, and we're working on additional legislation right now.
Has it been helpful?
The biggest challenge that we've had in Washington State is that our existing legislation has exempted ERISA plans, so self-insured plans, and so our existing existing laws only cover about 10 to 20% of the prescriptions that we dispense. So
yeah, on my flow chart on insurers, I'd have to have a couple little buckets over there because of all the different things. Dr. Trish, last question. You talk about the historic role that PBMs have played in lowering costs. Obviously, Senator Tester said that was the first goal. But you say over the last decade that this situation has deteriorated. What do you believe has caused this shift? Is it the consolidations?
I do think, part of it has been the consolidation and integration. I think what we see now is that CVS Health and United Health Group are actually the 4th and 5th biggest companies by revenue on top of the Fortune 100 in the U.S. And Cigna or Express Scripts or Evernorth, I think, is number 12 now. I mean, these are pretty significant companies here in the U.S. I think we've also continued to see that the market has gotten increasingly complex, and that makes it harder and harder to understand and enables more opportunities for this type of arbitrage and kind of deceptive practices.
Okay, so then, last thought, put yourself in the shoes of the person going to the counter to try to purchase a much-needed drug. And I think we shouldn't lose sight in any hearing such as this as the magnificence of our pharmaceutical industry in terms of curing and also managing diseases. That is something that is phenomenal for all of us. And how's anybody supposed to know? I mean, if they went to Dr. I want to not pronounce it, Oftbro's pharmacy, and then went to another pharmacy in West Virginia, they could pay totally different, they could pay different prices. You know, it's just I think it is, the confusion masks where the money's going. And I think in the end, the intent is to get it to that person at the counter. Thank you all very much.